Wow, this is really exciting. I've been looking forward to this all day, especially since the demo zone yesterday and all the great feedback we had on this. My name's Phil Whittaker. This is Matt.
Yeah, I'm Matt Wise, and this is from Clicks to Commands, AI editors, developers, and everyone else.
Okay, so let's get started. What you're about to see may look like science fiction. It may feel like a special effect, but believe me, there is no illusion here.
But it might have been sped up a little bit.
This is real. This works, believe it or not. Now, I'm going to pause a second here.
Yeah.
Matt and I, when we set the next slide up, we argued, we debated whether to put this on because it's a huge cliche to do this.
Could we get away with it?
Could we get away with it? And I almost took it out about 3 or 4 times. And then we did the demo zone yesterday.
Yeah.
And the feedback we had was, we're going to keep it in.
So this is your fault.
This is your fault. And we think it is.
Yeah.
It is the future. So this all started 3 months ago, about the start of March. Mainly Ollie's fault, who's sat on the front row here. Our company that I'd employed Matt to work at, had suffered a bit of an issue.
Yeah.
I think.
We had a nice Monday morning meeting to go look at the error logs over the weekend, and Phil turned to us, the team, and went, "Have you checked your inbox?" And then we didn't bother with that meeting, and we went for a walk instead.
Because we'd all been laid off, and we all had 3 months of gardening leave. And we had absolutely nothing to do. So I went on holiday 3 times in 1 month.
I annoyed the wife by staying in bed.
And then we started coming back, and we started realizing that everybody was talking about this thing called MCP. And I had no idea what that was. I saw it in a video, and I looked at it. And then I was on a call with Matt and with Ollie. I'm going to focus on you again. And I flippantly said, somebody should create an Umbraco MCP. And that was the start of it. And then we decided, we should do that.
Yeah, we've got time. Why not?
We decided to build that for Umbraco. So what we ended up with was, well, for me and for you as well, this turned into a tool for me to learn more about MCP and for me to learn more about Cursor as well. And Cursor AI is a way to automate some tasks in development. And this is the solution that we came up with. We have here the Umbraco Management API. We have Orville, which is what generates our client models, our clients and our models. We have the Model Context Protocol. And then, really importantly, we had something called Zod.
Yeah. So I think all of these technologies for us were a really straightforward thing to pick. As soon as we were talking about this and kind of looking at the space, it's like Management API was like, yeah, that's just the way for us to go. Zod is a TypeScript-based schema creator. So Orville generates a HTTP client over the top of the Management API, but it can also generate the models. So then we can just take in model, parse a string or a JSON, and get the object out. It does all the validation. It meant we didn't have to spend weeks modeling out the Swagger endpoints. It was huge.
So, and then after that, we managed to create about 180 tools. So the Management API is a very big thing. Yep. And we managed to create this in about 2 weeks. And we managed to create all the integration tests behind it, because there's no integration tests in the Umbraco Management API. And we managed to create those in the same time as well, because we realized that we had all these tools set up, and we'll tell you what tools are in a minute, but we couldn't understand when things changed in Umbraco, any issues that we would come across, especially for the LLM to understand. Yeah. So we used Cursor to do this. We defined a clear set of rules within Cursor to help the AI agent understand how it was going to build things. And then we reached the end goal, which we got to, was that we had something called automated test-driven development, where we'd ask it to create a builder, and it would create that for an endpoint. We'd ask it to create some helpers, and then we'd create the tool on top of it, and then we'd create all the tests behind it. And we knew things worked. when the tests all passed. And then we eyeballed everything to make everything was okay, and it all just worked, which is incredible, which is how we've managed to achieve an 80%-ish coverage in 2 weeks.
Yeah, and I think
Insane.
tests for us have been super important. We obviously know Umbraco's going to change, it's going to move forward, and so we need to do the same. So that's why we built test integrations. We had a look at 16 once that came out as well. Most of the things that failed were snapshots, where Umbraco had improved the responses.
I think we could do an entire talk about this process.
Yes, yeah,
very much
definitely.
So. But we're not here to learn all about that and magic around Cursor AI and the way that it works. So then we built all this blind. So we just went at it and built everything, and we'd never really turned it on. And then late one Tuesday night, we did turn it on.
Yeah. So we were chatting away, trying little simple things, asking it to get us this, get us that, not do anything clever, really. And then after about 20 minutes or so, I was like, right, come on.
And some beers.
We've got to. And some beers, yes, of course. So we asked it a simple-ish question, which was...
Well, still not really believing. We gave it this challenge.
Yeah. Can it,
well, I think it was actually more flippantly.
Yeah, I did. I was very much, I think I literally said, well, I wonder if it can just get all the data types that are unused and put them in a folder called unused data types. So, Phil sharing screen, pop this in. So, when hopefully the Wi-Fi lets us.
Yes.
There we go.
It's just catching up now.
Yeah. So it skipped a little bit into there, but you can see it's now hitting the isUsed data type endpoint. And querying for each of those data types, it initially did a root search, but the video's kind of skipped a little bit with the timing and stuff. So it's trying to find all the ones that are unused, trying to see their what it's made of and things like that. And now it's trying to get the folders, I think, is it?
Yep. It's creating a folder. Well, first of all, it's showing us all the unused data types that it's found in the system.
So again, it's giving you that validation. You could hit stop at this point if you think it's going to do something stupid.
Yeah.
Because they do.
And Wi-Fi is stupid as well.
Yeah. So effectively now, once it's done that report, it will attempt to create a folder. It might fail to create that folder first time. That's because Umbraco's parent ID on that MPI is optional, and it passes null the first time, but actually it does need a value, or it works out that it shouldn't include it at all. I can't remember off the top of my head. Once it's created that folder and it's identified the things, you can see now it's starting to move them into a folder. And again, it'll summarize the ones it's moved once it's complete.
And it's getting all the data types in that folder it's just created, and it's just showing all the ones that it's moved. And showing all the ones that it's not moved as well.
Yeah, and then if you quick look left, there you go.
Yeah,
so they're now
showing all the information for us. Now, is that really cool?
Yeah. We didn't do anything.
Our next question was, well, we didn't do anything, the LM did everything for us. So what, how, why? And that's the purpose of this talk today, to give a little bit of background behind it, and show a little bit of how this actually works. So first of all, the question is, what is Model Context Protocol?
Yeah, so it's a protocol, it's open, anyone can implement it, go read the whole spec around it, or like us, you can just use an SDK and take some of the mental load off yourselves. But it's broken up into parts. You have a host, which is the thing you see, it's Claude Desktop, it's your IDE, all of those things. It could be Umbraco if people wanted to build a host into that. That host needs to support something called MCP, which is a protocol, and have a client. So that client's responsibility is the middleman, or the middleware, if you're a .NET dev, between you and the LLM. So as you create your messages, it will feed through the client, add that to an array of messages, pass that to the LLM. It will do its thing, and then it will pass back the information to you. If it didn't want to run any tools, it will go straight back to you. If it needs to do something MCP related with its servers, which will come on to what the servers are, and that's what we've built, it will then call that tool, wait for the response, gather its responses, add it to the list of context, and push that back to the LLM. LLM will process, and back again. So it's a really quite straightforward straightforward protocol, I would say, in itself.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
But it enables so much, and it's a really nice open standard that is evolving all the time at the moment.
Okay.
So this is a sample of just currently a really small glimpse of what hosts and clients are available to use. You can see there's a lot of things at the top there with checks and crosses. They are all the different types of contexts and tools and things that the MCP support.
And we'll go through those in a bit.
We will go through 3 of those. The other 3 you can see are really new and nothing supports them. We're interested to find out more about those as they get a bit more in the limelight.
Okay. So that's clients. So what is an MCP server? And an MCP server is a thing that we've created. And it's a logical wrapper around something, a shared piece of data, shared piece of logic, or anything really. It could be a file system, it could be a database, it could be Playwright. They've got an MCP and it's really, really good. And it's a single access point for that LLM. I'm starting to call it now, it's like a pick and mix for the LLM to choose to do different things, because it exposes that service to AI to decide how it's going to use it. And finally, it enables you on a per access basis, per tool, per resource, per prompt, to create descriptions around it and to create parameters to make those parameters, you change the data and change the context that you're putting in. And the descriptions allow the LLM to understand how to use it, how to make best use of it. So here's an example of some MCP servers that have been created. These ones have been created by Anthropic themselves. So file systems, fetch, memory, sequential thinking, all sorts of weird and wonderful different things that we've got here. So this is showing you a diagram of what it actually looks like. So you can have local MCPs, you can have MCPs that are based on your local machine in your file system. You can have MCPs that are based on something from NPM, which is the way that we're doing it. You can have remote hosted MCPs like Atlassian and Cloudflare. And the idea here is you get the one-to-one relationship between the client and the LLM, and you get this protocol in the middle, and it's routed through to these. So multiple tools. This is the thing to take away from this, is it's not just one thing. You can have multiple things that can work together, and that's the amazing thing about this.
So what do we mean by context and MCP? So there are 3 main areas that we're going to focus on. Obviously, saw in the diagram there are now 6. And that's going to be tools, resources, and prompts. So I'm going to start with tools. That is for us, at least, in the management API.
Sorry.
In the management API, that's where we're mainly focused, because it does something. It actions something. It's giving that LLM an ability that it didn't have before. It's not just doing research and looking at information. It can now go out and run things. Another great example tool, I'm going to come back to Playwright. If you want to play with MCPs outside of Umbraco, Playwright is amazing. One of the examples that they gave was one of the developers wanted to buy a table. So she asked the LLM with MCP to go find the table, do a search, go through the purchasing process and everything. It was incredible. So well worth watching. But yeah, so they're designed. I went off on a tangent, I'm sorry.
That's fine.
Yeah, they enable still actions, and that's the beauty of them. So the model is in control. We didn't tell it which one to run when I asked about data types. It looked at the information it had around tools, knew which ones were data types, which ones were likely to give it what it wanted, and it used them. If it got it wrong, it might try another one, and that's the beauty of tools.
The next thing is resources. We have a lot of tools in our system. Resources are another part of it. We have less of these at the minute. We won't continue adding them, though. And resources allow the LLM to get information back in the background. Now, these services, tools, resources, prompts, etc., are used differently by different clients, and this is an amazing thing about these, really. So in Claude Desktop, a resource, you have to actually manually bring it into the context of the conversation that you're having at the minute. But other systems, they just pull in those resources and add them to context as they need to already. Which is really good. It's persisted in memory, so it means that it'll put it into whatever memory store it's got in there and use that within the context of the conversation you're using. prompts are something completely different, but they work in kind of a similar way. So a prompt is a predetermined conversation that's parameterized. So it's like having a conversation with Claude or ChatGPT and having that set up for you, like a blueprint, but have it parameterized. So you can change its context depending on what you're doing at the time. And it uses that as an instruction set to shape how the model will behave. So, for example, if the demo that we gave earlier on with the unused data types, I could set up a prompt for that, and that would mean that somebody could use that without understanding what they would need to prompt and what the best thing to prompt to get the outcome. So yeah, they're really cool. We're not playing around with these too much. It's mainly tools and that we're using at the minute. So then it takes us to Umbraco MCP itself.
Yeah, so again, just reflecting that model, kind of bringing that in. Now we're just going to focus on our server, what we've been doing and playing with. So again, still just the client protocol to the server, and then to Umbraco or Umbraco servers. Because again, you can have multiple servers. Doesn't mean you have to have one of each type.
And that will then link into all the tools underneath that we've got access to. And it should say many, many, many,
yes.
many more. And just many more.
So why the management API? It's been available since 14. It's going to be around forever at this point, we think. It underpins the entirety of the back office, which means it has all the security provided. We didn't have to write a load of security to make sure everyone was safe using it. Umbraco have done that for us. If Umbraco changes something in the future, it will impact the code a little bit because of the way we want to give you the LLM tools, but it's not going to break anything. It will just return an error and the LLM will move on. So it's really allowed us to get through this work in those couple of weeks that we did. And it also means you just create an API user in the back office, give it a client secret, client ID, give that to the MCP server, and away you go. You can set your groups like you normally would for any user, and you're in fully control of the scope the LLM gets.
So why use that? Well, it's really, really easy to understand. I think you've said some of this already.
Yes.
Yeah. Catalogs everything we can do. There's Swagger in there as well, which makes life a lot easier. There's some descriptions. You can run it in Swagger, show how it works. That's helped loads in me setting this up. And we can easily test the upgrades using our integration tests as well, which is another reason to use it. Because we can use the management API and we're hooked into that. We can test it by calling Umbraco and getting the information back that we just added. So, okay. So bringing it all together, what happens when you combine this? We should have had an image for this, really.
We should have done. Yeah, well, our initial response was magic. Like, genuine surprise and shock that it just worked off the prompt. We'd never seen anything really like it to human language-wise, to just ask Umbraco a question and get a response. Yeah. And that's what it really is.
Yeah, and I think that comes from, we had this critical mass of stuff. We'd got to a point where it understood enough about Umbraco to make informed decisions about how it was going to use this tool. So you can query and act on Umbraco site like never before, and you have freedom of less clicks for repetitive tasks. Now, I spent a lot of time writing this, didn't I?
Yeah, you totally didn't use AI to help you with it.
No, I didn't at all. But yeah, I did spend a lot of time thinking about what I was going to say this. I'm going to read this out. Yeah, the AI has full awareness of the tools at its disposal. When given a task, it autonomously reasons through the steps needed, selecting the sequence of appropriate tools to achieve the goal. That's pretty cool. What this means for the back office. So being able to do this, being able to shortcut underneath the back office, some people might find is a bad thing, but I don't think it makes it redundant at all. Now, Umbraco has been created to be as simple as possible. It doesn't have all the bells and whistles that other CMSs have. It's been kept under control. So this is an opportunity for Umbraco, I see, because it focuses on the visual things much better than anything else. So most use cases where visual is best, this is going to be a better, using the back office is going to be a better way to do it. This just fills in all the gaps, all those bells and whistles that other CMSs do that we don't have the button to actually do that, so that people can focus on content authoring. It removes the pressure from the people that are developing the back office not to add those things into there to do crazy stuff like move all my unused data types into a folder called unused data types. What this means for the future of the management API, so for the first time, it means that the management API is not just a provider of data for the back office. It becomes a public-facing control layer. And I've spoken to Andy and a couple of other people. That was always the intention for this, and it's great that they've actually created this. It means that it'll probably get a few new features. It won't change radically because it needs to support this and other things and the back office and etc. And it means it'll probably get a little bit more documentation behind it. So this is the bit that you come for today. We've teased for 20 minutes so far. Let's hope the videos actually work.
But first, there's more talking, isn't there?
There's more talking.
Yeah, there's more talking.
Sorry,
yeah.
there's a little bit more talking,
Right.
yes. A little bit more teasing, yeah. So these agents, they always follow the same process. We're seeing the same pattern happen in here. They'll come along and they'll take your prompt and they'll think about it for a little bit. They'll, as Claude very nicely puts it, they'll ponder for a little bit. The marketing people have got a hold of that one, I think. And then they'll gather information for you. They'll go into Umbraco and they'll pull in information that they think that it thinks it needs to understand a little bit more, understand a bit more context around it. And then they'll plan. And then they'll go ahead and they'll run the actions or whatever it is that you want to achieve.
And I think as well with the plan, you can ask it to stop there.
Yes.
Tell me how you would do this.
Yes.
And actually do it.
Yeah. Or show me the plan that you're going to perform here. And then if everything's successful, they'll validate, mostly. So pray for Wi-Fi.
Yeah. So obviously SEO is an ever-moving goal. In this example, we're just wanting to update the descriptions on our SEO component with the latest information. So hopefully this plays. So we've got, I don't know how visible this is, so I'll just kind of go through it. We've got meta name, meta description, meta keywords. For those that don't know, meta keywords has been deprecated for a long time. So we've asked it to just update the information. So it's searched the web, it's found 10 results. It feels like it's got the latest information from the web on best practices. Now it's searching the dot types, it's found the dot type, getting that by ID. Now it's going through all the data types it's got on the page, so it understands the schema to really understand what that page is doing. So now it's updating and going to update the document type with new descriptions to really help our editors make sure the best of these properties we've given them. So now it's going to summarize, give you that in context, because it's not expecting you to be looking at the back office at the same time. It's expecting you to be working within Claude. So it needs to tell you what it's done and give you that feedback on where it's got it from. And so now you can see we've now got full descriptions, and the description of meta keywords even says this has been deprecated, it's no longer used, and that's going to save editors' time.
That's one thing. Exporting data. Can you export the existing blogs in Umbraco into the available file system directory using the same structure as the existing text that's there? It's quite a complicated thing that it's saying that in a few words. So what we're doing here is we're combining Umbraco MCP with a file system MCP so that they can both work together. I've set up a structure, or we've set up a structure, of files in there already for it to follow. They're loosely marked down-ish.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's have a look at this. So what it's going to do here is it's going to find, look at the directories in the file system. It's going to read the files for you so it can understand the structure. It's going to search for blogs. It's going to get all the blogs. It's going to get a document and work out the structure of that. So it's gathering information here for you before it makes any action. Yep, it's getting some authors around it because it needs to find that information because that's in the file as well. And then it's going and writing some files. It's so quick, I can't actually keep up with it. Yep, writing some files. Now there's a lot of, well, there's 8 files in there, so I'm not going to expect you to wait and watch all of it.
Any moment now.
Any moment now. It's always a lot slower on stage, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Okay, and there we go. There's the file that it's actually output. And now it's going to validate that it's exported them correctly. Oh, no, it's doing some more. Okay, that's it. So that's another one.
Yeah, so, go on, yeah. Reporting. So what we mean by this is you've taken on a site, we're thinking in the future because we're not upgrading 15s massively yet, but, one day. So reporting. We're trying to work out how this site is built, understand it when we're coming new to a project, or we've been handed that thing that's been in the back of the cupboard somewhere in a few years. So we're going to ask it to, can you just flip the next?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
What's up on there?
I've got a random black one in the middle.
Oh, yeah.
So we really like mermaids. So we're going to ask it here to create a diagram, my words have just gone, of how the header controls composition from the clean starter kit all these demos are run against is used across all its doc types. In this particular case, we've given it a rather large prompt because we want to really focus in just on that composition relations. We don't want it going off and kind of doing its own thing and adding more to our diagram than we want. So again, we are going to give it that big prompt in this case. More context, more accurate it's going to be and more focused. Wi-Fi once again. So again, it's going to start querying as it has before. So it's going to get all the types. It's going to try and find something that resembles header controls composition because it doesn't know what that is yet. It's found it. It's going to go up with the ID. It's now got its information. It's found the endpoint to get the references and how it's used, the composition references, and now it's generating this diagram. And you can see, hopefully there, that it's found every single type that it's used on. If you've got a really big, complex site and you're doing a migration, I know early on in 7, I think Offer Code had built a string diagram to help with this visually. Now you can just ask. It's almost like having the developer who built the thing next to you, and you can go, why did you do this? Please. And you get to find out. So, yeah.
And the interesting thing there was it was using a little-known API endpoint called get, what was it?
Get by composition references.
Get by composition reference. Yeah. And because it knows all of this, because it's got all this in context, it can pick out the things that are not very well used and make use of them in the right ways. Yeah, I mean, we've used this, the reporting stuff, to create some crazy reports, like tell me the document types, the relationship between document types that use this particular data type underneath it. Just crazy stuff that doesn't really make much sense, but it can do it, it can show it, it can play around with it. So what we've had so far, we've had reporting, we've had properties. Exporting, what's next? Code. So what we're doing here is we've been using Claude Desktop previously to run all our conversations. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to attach the MCP to Cursor instead to see what that can do. Now, Cursor is an environment, it's a fork of Visual Studio Code, and it helps you in developing your solutions by using prompting and agents to write code for you. So by having an MCP attached to Cursor, we should be able to inform Cursor as to what it should write in the code, which is pretty cool. This is a very, very simple solution, yep, but it does work surprisingly well. This is Cursor here, and I'm just putting in that prompt. It's called an MCP tool. Now, this Cursor, you need to authorize every tool as it comes through, which is quite nice. So it's getting the document types. It's trying to find this rich text editor. It's found it there, and it's updated the document type already. And then it's searched the code base to try and find the component that's attached to it. And it's updated it and added the HTML in there.
I think I really like about is it knew it was a title. It knew
Yes.
it wasn't at the top level. It's more
Yes.
advanced, so it used H2.
Yeah.
And gave also a CSS class that was quite similar to the content one on the same page.
Yeah.
So it's not just blindly going to throw it out. It even checked the string or empty to make sure you didn't have a blank tag in there, which I've definitely seen sites that don't do that.
No.
So
Absolutely.
and then we've got the mandatory demo next. Content, yay!
So every single AI demo that you've seen so far, ever for the last 3 years, has always done content. And ours is no exception. We've done lots of other interesting things before this, but we thought we couldn't miss out on this one, could we?
Definitely not.
Yes. But this is a little bit different. So you can go out and you can get content, and this goes out and creates content on Codegarden 2024, but I also want it to create a new author for me and attach the new author as well. I can see Paul right in front of me here, and he's like going, wow, all my clean starter kit is all clean, yeah. So, yeah, it creates an author called Phil Whittaker, me, and I've added an image already into the media library for it. It'll go and find that as well. So this is content that it's creating, but it's content that's creating, and it's also manipulating other things at the same time in similar ways, which is really impressive as to the way that it does that. Now, I have a thing about creating AI slop content, and you could, and we have a demo for this as well, which we'll show at the demo zone later on. We have it reading files from our file system and using that to create content in similar ways to this. So it's not just about going out to the AI and getting that content created, it's about using other sources as well. So this is a bit quick, this one. Okay. Create a new blog post, so it's going out and searching for blogs, that it's getting the children, it's gathering information, it's getting a document, a blog by ID to understand the structure of it. It's found that. It's getting the document type to understand a little bit more about it. It's going to get some author information, documents and document types. It's going to get some media information. It went out to the internet and worked out Codegarden information. It stole all the content, yeah. And now it's copied an existing blog, because sometimes that's a safe way to do it if it's a bigger document. So that was the author that it just published there and updated that. And now it's getting a blog category, so it's understood that it needs a category as well. It's found the right category for it. It's cool. Without me even telling it to do that. And then it's gone away and created the document, a new blog that's attached there. And now it's published it and set it up. Okay. And there is a new, there's a new author. And there's a new blog that we've got. Oh, and it's not perfect. It's forgot to apply the templates. I always do that as well. And there we go.
Yeah.
There it is. Okay. So those are some very short demos. I mean, we'd started creating this talk 2 weeks ago. So to get to the stage we've got to already is pretty impressive. But this really is the tip-off. It's down to you. Sorry?
Not a real iceberg.
Not a real iceberg.
Not the AI problems.
Yeah, okay. But this is the tip of the iceberg, really. It very much is. It's down to what your own requirements are. When we first started playing around with this, and we put out a demo, I put out something on LinkedIn for this, and Philip from HQ came back to us and said, this is amazing, we want to have a conversation about it. And we had a conversation with him, which you saw in the keynote, pretty much the outcome of that. And the reality was that we went, wow.
Yeah, he blew our minds.
He blew our minds,
He thought of things we'd never have thought to ask it.
Exactly. We've got dev minds.
Yeah.
He's got a bit more context.
A bit more businessy and...
Yeah, exactly. So it's about the context of the person that's using this. It's going to empower people. It's going to allow them to use Umbraco in ways that have never been used before. And it's also going to help you to use Umbraco in better ways, in more efficient ways, in more capable ways, without having bells and whistles for absolutely everything.
So what's next for the projects? Officially, this was done before the keynote stuff, so this is mine and Phil's what's next, not necessarily what is next. We want to refine the MCP tooling we've got. We want to make it more accurate, more reliable, use less context, add support for packages. Right now, it only understands Umbraco base, but there is too much brilliant contributions from the community. We want to be able to make sure we can cover all of your work as well. Obviously, There are other parts of Umbraco, not just community packages, but all the HQ ones as well, that would need coming. But equally, some things need other servers. So we want to create a framework to help you guys deliver your MCPs in 2 weeks. If they happen to be based on Umbraco, fantastic. Using, for example, you could create an MCP for it. I said that because I saw Kevin just there. And things like that, or like redirects. If you want to import them from a CSV from MCP, you could do that. You could get it to crawl your current website and import your redirects to your new Umbraco site. All of those things are possible.
Yeah. So we've been talking about this, and especially after the demo zone yesterday. Yeah. We've been talking about how AI has caused us a bit of a friction within the developer community now. There's lots of things about people losing their jobs and all sorts of really horrible stuff around it based around capitalism. And I think really this particular thing is one of the first things that developers have been able to get their teeth into. What it does is it allows LLMs to get access to APIs that we all create for it. So I think it's a really positive thing, and one of the most positive things have come out of the AI side for a long time. We've got loads more demos. We've been speaking to lots of other people. I know there's an agency in London that we've been talking to who have been migrating sites by reading the front end of sites, reading the HTML, and then working out from the HTML the content to push into a new Umbraco instance. That's just absolutely crazy, being able to do that. It's just mad.
It is. So should we show them how they can start using it?
Yeah, okay.
All right, then.
I think might as well.
So let's get started. It's fairly simple. If you head to GitHub repo, there is firstly a really easy install VS Code button, so you can start coding with it. It's a one-click install. It will install it. You just then need to do the configuration. If you want to use any other MCP host, this sample here is for Cursor. It's an MPX running one, and then there are 3 environment variables. 2 of those are your client ID and client secret from the Umbraco user, API user you create. And the other one is just the URL. Where is it? That's it. That's all you need. There is an additional one for configuring tools, refining tools a bit more, but this is all you need to get started. And your favorite LLM of choice, of course.
And that's the amazing thing about this, really, is it's completely separate from Umbraco. There's no packages to install at all. You don't have to actually install it on your system. MPX will handle all of that for you. It's really, really simple solution. Now, the version, the JSON that we've given here is specific to Cursor. It does change slightly between hosts, so I know Claude Desktop is a little bit different.
Yeah, it's not much off, though.
No, it's not much off. And the details that you provide in there are pretty much exactly the same.
Yeah.
So very easy to get started, very easy to attach it to an Umbraco instance, as long as it's Umbraco 14.
15 and above.
15 at the minute, we're in alpha.
It does work against 16. It'll just get, the tests don't work, that's the only thing.
Yeah, okay. Fine. Yeah, okay. So we really look forward to seeing how you all use it. We are doing a demo zone over in the TP at 4:30 to 5.
Which has no Wi-Fi, so hopefully we'll be able to show you some other demos. If not, we can ask more questions.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you all for listening to us. And if you've got any more information, we've got the QR code up there as well. And wait 2 seconds. I'm going to do the I'm going to do the band thing of get my mobile phone and take a picture of this, if that's okay with you.
And I'm going to see because I've got
absolutely
it
so cool.
Smile in the back. I can see you not. Sorry, I have to do the selfie, couldn't I?
Selfie?
Yeah, come on, Phil.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.